Dan Morgan's conversation with Rich Eisen regarding the Panthers' faith in Bryce Young and the timetable for extending him. Is Dave Canales' future dependent upon Bryce Young, and are they are they connected? Damn it! Further breaking down the NFL team strength of schedule, guys. The schedule releases Thursday, but we got leaks coming to you. Cam Newton, happy birthday from your biggest fan. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast. Let's roll.
Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Tuesday night, 9 p.m., and that means that Panther Talk and these fellas right here is inextricably connected.
Inexorably.
Inextricably?
Yeah.
Inextricably is a word. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know how to say it. It's tough to say it, but you know what's not tough to do? Hang out and talk Panthers football with my homeboys. My name's Tony Dunn. We're not football experts, but we are expert football fans, and every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. My wheelman Cody Lack in the house. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Inexorably, a process that continues without any possibility of being stopped, prevented, or persuaded otherwise. So there you go for that hot, inexorable definition, Tony Dunn. But listen, man, we're going to have another wonderful C3 Panthers podcast. Man, it seems like we always find something to talk about. And today, Dan Morgan did some interviews that were very illuminating as to the Carolina Panthers and their process with Bryce Young going forward and just the team in general. Tony, we're going to do this with the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You know we got Loud Pack Luke, Panther Gal back in the building, VR the Hope Dealer, and many, many more. Hey, it's a Tuesday night. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number is 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. Call in. Give us your thoughts. Panthers rookie minicamp this past weekend. So you get to hear from Brazzle. You get to see him dazzle Brazzle out there saying he is ready to run and has run every route on the tree. Let's go. You hear Dan Morgan talking about how Freeland is going to be the real deal and how he's bulking up, right? And then there's some undrafted free agents that are hungry to match up against the man across from them. But I tell you who I'm excited to hang out with is that man with the golden pipe. CK, how you doing?
Oh man, I don't know anything about what happened this week, so I'm relying on you guys to tell me what's happening. I tried to put PTO in for tonight, but Tony said he wasn't having it. So here I am being forced by the boss man to work. But no, it's good, man. Good to be here with you fellas and talking about Panthers football and potential schedule things that we see coming up the horizon here. And also not much of anything to talk about, it sounds like, at the same time. So.
Yeah, it's kind of there's nothing and something to talk about because there actually is we've got some player interview clips we've got and some different things. Look, it's that time. Rookie mini camps, the schedule release, but the NFL is fantastic at somehow keeping relevance when there is irrelevance. You know, you've got the Canes. By the way, Canes swept the Flyers. Moving on, you've got NBA basketball playoffs, which, God, are the worst playoffs. I will not watch them. I'm sorry. Why do they take 7 months? I don't even know if they're done with the first series yet. And the NHL is through two series. Moving on. And But somehow the NFL keeps it around. So they space out everything wonderfully to give us just enough to keep these podcasts just a cooking and a cooking. Rookie mini camps, the schedule release. Cody, where are we starting tonight? Tonight's show, Dan Morgan delivers timetable on Bryce Young. Oh, and also, I'm going to go ahead and pull back the curtain. Cody Lack sends me a message. He says, I've been arguing all day about XL and this. And I'm like, God, no wonder you're fatigued, my friend. Stop. Why are you arguing about it?
Hey,
all right.
Everyone versus me, and I come out on top. You feel me? But yeah, man, today, one of the biggest news stories that we got came from Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan talking on Rich Eisen's show with some very pointed words about the future of Bryce Young and essentially the timetable that they have given themselves and just, where they are in paying Bryce Young as a whole. I wanted to play that for you guys before we really jump into this, and we will parse through the words of one Dan Morgan.
In the process of having a team that you can build around a young quarterback while he's on his first contract and what that means for your cap, et cetera. What's your philosophy plan on a Bryce Young extension? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, we just picked up his 5th year, and I think contract-wise, in terms of long-term contract, we'll keep talking about that here internally, and we'll get it done at the right time, if we're going to do it, and we'll talk to Bryce's representatives, and just kind of keep those discussions here internally. But obviously, we believe in Bryce. He's gotten better every single year. He's developing as a leader. He has such a good grasp of Coach Canales and Brad Idzik's offense. He's just getting better every single day. So we're obviously really excited about him and the team and the direction that we're headed.
So there you have it. Dan Morgan sums it up, says we'll get it done at the right time, if we're going to do it. Obviously, we believe in Bryce. And I think, depending on who you're talking to, this is either a resounding endorsement or the word "if" in that first sentence does a lot of heavy lifting, if you know what I mean. To me, this is like, how we talk about coaches giving coach speak. Well, this is like a general manager giving very general GM speak. He said a lot without really saying anything at all. He wasn't too committal, as definitely we're going to pay him. But then at the same time, he wants to continue to say, we believe in Bryce and his forward trajectory. He's gotten better every single year. But he also didn't outright say, like a lot of Panther fans say and assume, that we are definitely going to be picking up an extension for Bryce Young. So that's kind of what I took from it. A lot of nothing.
Yeah, we could have broke this. Actually, we broke this last week, CK. We broke this 5 weeks ago, right? And that is the best thing for the Carolina Panthers is for Bryce Young to work out. That's it, right? Is that Bryce working out is good for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you froze, bud.
Oh, am I back?
You're good for me. Cody's one that.
Yes, you are. Well, for me, you were frozen. I don't know if that was for
Can you
everyone
hear
else,
me?
but for me, you were.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Calling
Yes.
all Panther fans right here is that look, it's good for Bryce Young to work out. That's what Dan Morgan's saying. That's what we drafted. We traded up. We put all this in. Hey, we want Bryce Young to work out. On top of that, we have the luxury of the 5th year option, and there is no need right now to be committing and doing all of this because we have time, right? And we're going to let that come to us. On top of that is that Bryce Young, and there are still, I won't say questions. Yes, there are questions. There is more that needs to be done. There is more work to be done, folks. And I don't think that Bryce Young, look, this is not a hate Bryce Young or an endorse or a love or anything. This is what Dan Morgan's saying this right here is we believe in Bryce. That's why we drafted him. We want Bryce to work out. We hired Dave Canales because we want him to work and we believe in him. but there is work to be done before we are saying this. Is we're not crowning anybody at this point. And the idea is this, is that the 5th-year option gives this team continued time to navigate these waters. And now is the time. Now is the time. The time is together. And we're going to this next, and I'm letting CK talk first before we go to it. But these two people, captain and co-captain, captain, my captain, Dave Canales and Bryce Young, their futures in Carolina are bright, potentially. We can see some light, but we don't know just what that future commands entirely. CK, nothing new here, and I don't think there's anything surprising here, and I don't think there's anything unfair to just say this, is that the Carolina Panthers have moved forward over the last couple of years. That last year took a step forward, a notable step forward, and we are hoping and wanting Bryce Young to be our future, but there's no reason to just ink the deal right this second.
No, I don't disagree. I think there's value in doing it earlier, just from a cap space perspective, and get it done before he, if you believe he's going to blow it up this year. However, I agree. I think had he ended that, the reason that statement is, to Cody's point, so insignificant is he ended that statement realizing, oh, I'm just committed to the fact that I'm going to be. So to me, that was like almost a backtrack in that moment, where we're going to get it done if we're going to get it done, if we're going to do that. That was more of a response by the fact that he was like, I really don't want to commit to that just yet. So, the backtrack.
And why should he, right, CK?
Yeah.
Why should he? At what point?
Yeah. At any, number one, I mean, there's no, you're not going to be able to take any of what he says with at face value. You got to understand they're playing a game of chess right now. With who's going to have the upper hand, who's going to put the more, I think, we all agree players should get paid what they deserve to get paid. But I think the team also has to do what's best for the team. And if they believe he's going to be the guy, I don't see why extending him to a reasonable contract at this point in time is off the table. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be incentive laden, whatever you need to do to be able to make it worth Bryce's while to actually continue to perform at a high level. It's not as though you're talking about Lamar Jackson when he's going to come out and perform every single time. So if you have, he deserves the guarantees, whereas Bryce wouldn't necessarily. I think he would understand why he would have to have an incentive heavy type of a contract. So if we can do something like that, I'm all for it. But not at the detriment to the team, and certainly not at a massive guarantee.
Cody, I hear what CK is saying, but what I don't know if it's not a disagree, but I don't know. That's not the way it works, right? That the idea of Bryce Young taking a reasonable deal, incentive laden, is an admission on his part that he is still a question mark. It's a opportunity for the Panthers to get over on him. Ultimately, his goal as a player right now is to secure money going forward, because there's a chance that he gets hurt, that he doesn't work out. At this point, It's not even just about injury at this point. It's like, hey, he's not the answer ultimately. And as a player and as an agent, you are negotiating for this to secure the future, the most money for that moment that you can. And I think that while Bryce Young's agent might not come in and say he needs to be the highest paid or something like this, while he might make what is quote unquote kind of a friendly deal in comparison to other quarterbacks, it's still going to be starting caliber money at, like, that's how you negotiate. And I think right now, Cody, that the answer is that it's the time is now, and not the time to negotiate is now, but I think is this is a put up or shut up type moment when it comes to monetary negotiations.
Yeah, I mean, and think about it, right? He's under contract for 2026 and 2027. And there's a real possibility that we make him play both of those years without receiving a brand new contract. We might want to see him be an exceptional quarterback for 2 years in a row. But I think, Tony, what you're getting at is that the trend is the trend is the trend.
Yes.
When you're the next man up to get paid, you get paid big time dollars. You know, Tony, I know we talk a lot about Trevor Lawrence on here a lot, and you have a friend who's a Jaguars fan. I'm a Clemson fan. You know, whatever you think about Trevor Lawrence, that guy got paid buku bucks. Okay, so did Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, I think that's the best example.
Right.
Is Tua.
Yes, a couple of years ago, Jordan Love got paid. Daniel Jones got paid. So at the end of the day, Bryce Young is not going to accept anything less than a blockbuster quarterback contract. Even if it's not technically the highest paid, it is going to be one of the highest paid players in the NFL. It's a next man up type of thing when it comes to the quarterbacks. And in order for the Carolina Panthers, dude. I mean, J.C. Horn was the highest paid for a little bit. Derek Brown was the highest paid for a little bit after he got paid. If you want that kind of contract, you have to have the numbers and the level of play to be able to back that up. And I'm going to be real. His numbers have to be better in 2026 than they were in 2025.
They better be.
If they're the same, if he's still averaging around 150 to 190 yards a game, I'm sorry, that's just not enough to warrant that kind of money that he's going to be looking for.
Arguably, I would also add here's the reason that I think that he wouldn't warrant a blockbuster deal. And that is, blockbuster deals come when there is a market for you as a player, typically, right? And if you tell me that you believe that if we cut Bryce Young today, that he would have a market that's willing to pay him a blockbuster deal, you're out of your mind. There is not a single team on the in the NFL that is going to be willing to fork over the type of money that Tua nor Trevor got years ago.
He would get a 1 year deal, right, CK?
He would get a 1 year prove it deal. And all I'm saying is the longevity of a contract that's an extension beyond just the next 2 years, I think is a comfort to a guy who has a tremendous amount of uncertainty if for whatever reason these next 2 years do not work out, which he has no ability. I mean, he can have confidence in himself, right? But if his agents are doing him any favors, they're looking at his performance and realizing while there are some bright spots, he has by no means played to the level. Even when Trevor got that contract, they were coming off of a playoff year, right? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they had a very good year that year and Trevor had a very good year that year. He took a step back the year after, and then they picked it up again this past year, right? So Bryce has never had as good of a season as the best years of Tua nor Trevor have. And that's coming from somebody who's a Bryce Young apologist.
This is inextricably going to be connected to us somehow being a Bryce hater podcast, which is not the case here, right? I think this is that there is no reason to fork the money up right now. That's it. Sure. There is no reason to be the fact that this is, and I want to tell Bryce haters, Bryce fans, Bryce stands, whatever you call them, all these different middle of the road. I'm a middle of the road guy. This is why you draft somebody and you have the time to see it. I think this is what the exciting part for people that like Bryce or love Bryce or think he's whatever, or middle of the road. Look, I think he's okay right now. And we're going to get to this later, probably when we have to talk, when I make Cody talk about XL, is that the one thing though, that the social media part of sports, but also just, they call it the not for long league, is it's just quick. I think the greatest part about Bryce Young, this organization going forward, and the hope and the optimism surrounding Bryce is that they're going to give him due time to become the player that they want him to become. So what I think is I think this contract negotiation stuff is premature. I think it's just premature. I think you picked up the 5th-year option. You got him this year, right? You got him next year. And then you figure it out as you go. And to be honest, let's go, Bryce. Let's go fucking ball. Let's go kill it this year and make your money, bro. Go make your money. And that's the way you do it. You go out there and Bryce becomes the player that he can, we hope, be, right? And this team grows. Then I want to pay somebody is like, fuck it, let's overpay. Let's go. And right now, paying, no, let's just stick and see where we're at, because I like these guys. I'm okay with Dave Canales, and this is our segue, Cody, for the next discussion. I like Dave Canales. I don't want to fire the mug. I don't want to cut Bryce. I don't want to move on from Bryce. But I also know that both of these guys need to improve, and not need to improve as in, oh, they're not doing good enough. But if they're not improving, then what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And by the way, I often get the criticism levied at me online that I'm somebody who would rather say, ha, I told you so, than Bryce Young being a franchise quarterback and actually living up to that number 1 overall draft pick. And that just could not be more fucking incorrect. I want to put this to bed. I want Bryce to be the guy. I want to move on from this never-ending quarterback conversation that is, on the front of Panthers fans' mind, and even people who are writing articles for the Carolina Panthers. This is from catcrave.com, and it says the Panthers could be dragged into scary scenario if Dave Canales reality if Bryce Young slips. And what I was saying in the opener is that Bryce Young and Dave Canales, their fates are inexorably connected to one another. The Carolina Panthers won the NFC South, made the playoffs for the first time since 2017, and gave a fan base that has been through a lot of suffering something to celebrate. But that didn't stop Mo Moulton, the Bleacher Report, from putting Canales on the league-wide hot seat list, rating him at 6 of 10. He said typically head coaches coming off of a playoff appearance with a team that's had little success in recent years aren't on the hot seat. However, Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper can be impulsive, and even though the Panthers won the NFC South title last season, they finished with a sub-500 record and needed help in Week 18 in order to win the division. However, the bigger issue might not be Canales at all. It's whether quarterback Bryce Young can prove last season wasn't a fluke either. Young threw for 3,011 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions in 2025 with a 63.6 completion percent rate. Those are legitimate numbers. The Panthers also exercised a 5th-year option, $25.9 million guarantee, and general manager Dan Morgan told Adam Sheehan on Mad Dog Sports Radio that extensions will come at the right time.
Yes.
Sounds like progress, but Canales handed play calling duties to offensive coordinator Brad Isaac this offseason, a notable shift for an offensive-minded head coach who built his reputation developing quarterbacks with the Seattle Seahawks and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Canales framed the decision as the best thing for the offense going forward, citing Isaac's continuity with the system and the players. Fair enough. The question is whether it works. If Young regresses, Moulton noted, Canales, I'm going to get this off the screen. Hang on. I don't know why it does this. Well, I can't read the bottom. Oh, yeah, I can. If Young regresses, Moulton noted, Canales gets some of that blame regardless. An offensive head coach who's no longer calling plays still owns the results and the deal. So that's sort of what we're talking about here. Let's envision a scenario where for whatever reason Bryce doesn't succeed like we want him to, if they decide to move on from Bryce, is Dave Canales still the head coach?
No.
That's what a lot of people are wondering. Or are they inexorably tied at the hip?
There is nothing controversial about this discussion. We had it last week, and that is excited about the growth and the progress. We're happy. Look, I every time I run into somebody, I bought something off of Facebook Marketplace. I bought some rails for a bed for my daughter's bed. She wanted her bed on the floor at first, right? And then she was like, now we're raising it up. And I was like, I didn't want to do that. She doesn't want the headboard and the footboard. That's my grandmother's. That's beautiful. I redid. Madeline, still wrong for that. But she just wanted the rails just to lift it up finally becoming a little bit more of an adult, I guess. So I buy this off of Facebook Marketplace, and the guy that I buy it from, it was actually missing a part, strangely. It's like I got home, I tried to put it together, it was missing this one piece. Message guy, he's real cool. He found it. He goes, "Oh, you got that C3 Panthers podcast?" He's like, he said, "That's yours?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a 14-year." He was a guy that went to the games when they were playing at Clemson. And he had all of these stories about all of this stuff, but he wanted to talk Panthers football. And the idea is that nothing is secure. I was talking to him about it. He's like, "What do you think about this?" And it's like, there's nothing controversial about this. Is that the idea that the Carolina, like, we can be hopeful and optimistic that we're doing better. This is where I was going. I lost my train of thought. But I was telling him how difficult it was at one point to do the podcast, to where I was telling him I don't like to go to the games. It costs too much time, money. And I know I said, I don't tell anybody. And now I'm telling it on the internet, is that there was a level of fatigue that hit me where it was like, I didn't want to watch like it was a chore to watch on Sunday.
Yeah.
Now, the incremental progress that we've had with last season, the season before, has made it to where, like, hey, I am not loathing Sundays. I'm not loathing, but that does not mean that I just believe that, like, these are fucking world beaters, right? There is nothing controversial about saying Bryce Young and Dave Canales need to improve. The Panthers need to improve. And where I don't like this, where I will say I don't agree with this, the way this story phrased things, is that those are what do they say? Those are respectable numbers. Those are floor numbers. They're floor numbers right now.
They're mid. The kids call that mid.
And that's
they're floor for a franchise quarterback. Let's be real.
And it's fine in progress. It is fine in progress, right? But I'm not saying this is like, if that now there is no regression. There is no regression. If you regress as a coach and a quarterback, the questions only become more important. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not even, it's mid, like you said, Cody, if that's all it's ever going to be. Sure. It's okay if that is a step towards something more. And I don't need Bryce. I don't have a number he has to achieve. What I need is both Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers, which is Dave Canales, the figurehead of that, to be better than they were yesterday.
Sure. And by the way, it's a sensible position. If you're a fan of him and you think this is going to be great, or if you've never believed of him a day in his time here in Carolina, look at our man VR, the Hope Dealer. His name is the Hope Dealer. Hope is in his name. And even he says, I'm not ready to extend Bryce yet. need to see more. He goes on to say Bryce no longer has Andy. This is his team, period. So there is nothing wrong in saying that we need to see more from our franchise number 1 overall pick quarterback, and to actually see what he is capable of doing and who he is. And I agree with you. If those are the numbers, I'm not, if I'm a decision maker, if I'm the GM, if I'm Dan Morgan, I'm not paying top dollar to those kinds of numbers. I'm sorry. It's just, it's not worth what we traded up to go and get him. I do think it will be interesting to monitor if Dave Canales does ever get an opportunity to pick an heir apparent should Bryce Young fail. Because I think if you did just, did a whole organizational turnover from the coaching staff to the quarterback, I think there's a potential that you could be setting the organization back even further than it potentially could have been otherwise if you just tried to upgrade the quarterback position.
Disagree entirely. Is that if this isn't improving incrementally to significantly, then Dave Canales shouldn't get any more leash than any other people. CK, that I want to not just make this a negative spin only, though.
Sure.
Is that what I am very happy about is that Bryce Young, if Canales are given the time to develop into what they could be instead of the Panthers prematurely moving on. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think this is really a great component to this, is that just because it didn't hit right away for Bryce, he's a star out the gate, just because the Carolina Panthers hired Dave Canales and they didn't make 10 wins and go from nothing to the best, I'm really, I guess I'm comfortable and happy that the Panthers are now letting this play out and giving these guys the opportunity rather than just this brief moment to try to make it.
I understand, but the part of this that I think if we want to really get to the nitty gritty, I mean, right now we've done the 5th year option, which by the way, is that like 24 million? Is that what it is?
The 5th year option?
Yeah, the 5th year option is
25.9 million.
Okay. So now let me do this. So Patrick Mahomes, is he the highest paid right now? This is what, 45 million? No. I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to figure out the average yearly.
The highest paid quarterback.
Right. So even if you look at the people that are in his, range, if there's anybody even close, I just don't think that there's an argument that he deserves to be paid anything significant from that perspective. But I do think that the benefit of the 5th year option is what happens next year is incredibly valuable to what the future holds. What I don't want to have happen is we picked up his 5th year option. He doesn't play very well. He's then the backup for his 5th year option that final year. We let him walk, and then he goes to Seattle and wins a Super Bowl. Like, that would bother me because we've done this. We've had this song and dance already with multiple quarterbacks, with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl winning quarterback that we let walk out the door for nothing because we only gave him one shot with one offense, and that offense was not a well-built offense.
No, it really wasn't.
The best
receiver
in the league. I think just the Panthers are in the best scenario, not the best scenario.
Sam is good though. He's good, man. He's good.
The best scenario would be for us to be like, oh, we're churning out 12 wins. But I think this is the Panthers are positioned in a moment where they don't need to make the decision right now. And I think it would be foolish for them to. I think that if you want to save $5 with the risk of losing $500, I would say wait. You know, if we had to make a decision on something, like it was like, oh, you have to buy this right now, and you might pay $5 less than the value, or if you wait, you might pay. Like, I would just wait. Look, there's no harm. The Panthers are straight.
Yeah,
That's not
there's
even
no
a
reason to
negative.
rush any of this.
Negative.
And that's
There's
essentially
no
what
negative.
Dan Morgan said too. There's no reason to really even think about this any now. Would any of you like to guess who the highest paid quarterback per year is?
I mean, I'm guessing based on the chat. Is it Dak?
No, can't be.
Yes,
I'm gonna
it
say
is.
it is. It's Dak.
Dak Prescott gets $60 million a year.
All right. Guaranteed money. Who was the last big quarterback? Is he the last one to sign the big
The
deal?
most guaranteed
Brock.
money. The most guaranteed money in the NFL right now is Josh Allen with $250 million guaranteed.
Yeah. So he's really the.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
so you have Dak Prescott at 60, Joe Burrow at 55 million, Josh Allen at 55 million,
Yeah.
Jordan
let's just-
Love. Look, but see, this is what I'm scared of. And again, I know this is the conversation for another day. So it goes Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, and the guy who comes after him is Tua Tagovailoa
Yeah.
at 50,
I don't want to do that.
53.1 million. This is why, you know, even if Bryce has a great year in 2026, we might need to see 2027 as well before we.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, before we really come off of that contract. Ask the Dolphins, who I believe this year are in total are paying $90 million in dead cap, and they're paying still 53 of Tua's contract. Like, let's not get in a position where we're doing that, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm happy where we're at. I'm happy that Bryce is our quarterback this year. I'm happy that we're getting better. I'm happy that we're not looking for a new quarterback and a new coach right now. And I hope that at the end of next season, I get to say that. I continue to say those things.
Absolutely. How about this? Let's move on from Bryce. I think we've covered the whole Bryce and Dave Canales thing pretty well. Let's talk about the strength of schedule numbers. So again, the schedule releases this Thursday night at 8. So we are going to know the exact date of every Panthers game for this next coming up season. Strength of schedule rankings. So opponent win percentage. It's based on their win percentage of last year of the teams that they're playing. Ahead of the Panthers are the Chicago Bears, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, the Packers, the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Raiders, the Bills, the Chargers, and then the Panthers as their opponents come in with a 5.21 win percentage. But Tony, you sent me this in the chat. This is from Jordan Schultz. Every team's 2026 NFL strength of schedule based on current projected win totals. This is a much better way to view strength of schedule because it actually takes offseason moves and roster changes into account. The Lions have the easiest schedule while the Cardinals have the hardest. Shout out to Sharp Football for putting the data together. So listen, most of the metrics that count, Tony and CK, say that the Panthers are going to have a damn hard schedule coming up in 2026. We went through it last Tuesday, and we're going to have to play some really, really good teams. So it's interesting that in a year that we're needing Bryce and Dave to really come through and prove it, what an opportunity to do it against the very best of the best that the NFL has to offer.
You want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
That's it.
And all of that, if we're whining, and nobody's whining here, CK, about this, but do you remember that, like, the conversation about, like, oh, do you want to back? We kind of had the back into the playoffs conversations. Look, the Panthers didn't win to get in. Other things happened that allowed them to get into the playoffs, right? And the fact that they had a good playoff game really was a big deciding, like a helpful thing for us. But I wanted to go into the playoff with my, out saying, look at my like we're here. We're here. And it wasn't like that for the Carolina Panthers. So but the thing is that conversation that we continue to have, is it better to be in the playoffs, whether you deserve it or not, win the division, whether you deserve it or not, this and that. Here is the negative component to it is when you win the division, you play the division, like the top of the other divisions on the out schedule. What we got is the difference being the Saints play teams like the Raiders, the Cardinals, and we get the Eagles and the Seahawks, in those games. I'm not scared of it. Look, the schedule's the schedule. You can't control this. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Let's go, CK.
No, I mean, I think that's a great point. I mean, if we want to be able to make a statement, it's by the end of the year, we're going to be looking at this. We're going to be pulling up this report and saying, this is how difficult they thought our schedule was, and we came out and we dominated. I would love for us to have one of those years that just feel magical, with it being this type of a schedule, because I think you answer a lot of questions when that happens. And that is, can you do it when you're expected to do it? But also can you do it when you're not expected to do it? And when we weren't expected to do it, we were able to compete at a pretty high level last year. So I'm excited about that. To your point, Tony, I know what you were saying about, you want to go, if you're going to win the division, you want it to be like I won the division and there's no question about it, right? But I'll tell you what, our performance in the playoff, we had it out, and we were showing it out. And it's, if we can make those types of those games more frequent with the improvements that we're talking about on the defense and everything, brother, I think that this team has a lot of potential, but it begins and it ends with Bryce Young. And so we'll see how this year plays out against some of these really good teams. But I do think I like that we do have a tough schedule, because there's nobody who's going to be able to come back and say, like, if the Saints were to win the division, everybody's first reaction on this podcast is going to be like, remember how they had the second easiest schedule in the entire NFL? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Couple of points on that real quick is, look, it's just because we have a belief, or I had a belief of going into something. Actually, it doesn't mean that just because I think something doesn't mean that I will adhere to those beliefs or that it's right. And I did say this, is that I was so nervous about, not nervous, the stakes were so high in that Rams game, because and the best possible outcome other than winning happened, right? I mean, winning would have been the best possible outcome, but do you remember we were like 12 or 14 point underdogs in that game? I mean, it was
all of the games that we were the biggest underdogs. We fucking,
I know, but that playoff game, we were not. It was like, you're going to get smoked, and the Panthers almost won it. Now, if the Panthers would have gotten smoked, it would have taken all of the wind out of the sails of the progress that happened. Yeah. It would have, like, as you would have just thought, easy. Oh man, like you would have just been like, question, Dave Canales question, Bryce Young question, defense question. The best possible outcome other than winning happened, because what that opportunity did is the Panthers capitalized on it as best as they could without winning, because that put wind in the sails. That game put wind in the sails for this year. I think this is that if the Panthers, there would have been a less of a risk if the Panthers would have not won the division but had progress. You would have been like, oh, well, we almost won the division, but we didn't, and we're making incremental progress. There was so much risk in that game, and boy, Bryce played out of his mind. He played great. The Panthers played great, and it gave us wind in the sails. So I am happy about that. The second point that I do, and that's good, that momentum, it could have gone the other way, but thank God we did it. The other point I will have is this, is I don't put too much stock in this not strength of schedule, but all of this crap is just based on last year.
Yeah, and some
It's
teams, what's that term? The Super Bowl slump. That sometimes the Super Bowl teams don't come back and they're nowhere near the team that they were last year. So it's like
the whole thing is going to be different this year.
100%.
And it's not everybody's going to be that was good is going to be bad, and everybody that's bad is going to be good. But this is what I hate about fantasy football rankings, guys, is when they put out their, oh, here are your running backs, here are this. It is just based off of last season. So Jonathan Brooks will be a negative 9,000 in this, and it doesn't take into account anything other than just production of last year. So look, yeah. Do we have a tough schedule? Yeah. But you know what? That's the schedule we got to rock with. And let's go.
Another thing, and then I'll let CK rock on this one, is that, in 2015, people said that, oh, we were just benefiting off of an easy schedule, that we didn't really play anyone good. And by the way, they said the same thing about the Patriots this year. So again, I would rather be one of those teams that's battle tested, that's actually ready to go with the big boys when the playoff comes around. Because one of the things I don't want to do is be a great team most of the year, and then you get into the playoffs and you play a good team and you just get smoked. That's something that I want to avoid as well. So I do think that this situation and the schedule will ultimately benefit us, or it's going to be a long year. CK would say.
Yeah, I don't think we can survive another bad year if that were to happen. Like this ridiculous roller coaster that we would feel like we're on if we just go right back to what we were, accustomed to. That would be quite unfortunate. It's to Tony's point when he was talking about this earlier. Like that would just, I don't know. I almost feel like that would be worse than if we just weren't good last year, or even if we didn't make the playoffs last year. I feel like it would be worse to go right into a bad year after that, because it would feel like our window is basically shut.
I'm with you though, Cody. 100% is don't give me the easy schedule. I mean, and I'm not saying, look, you play the people that they tell you to play. So I didn't shit on the Patriots for having this easy schedule. They beat who they had to beat, right? But look, I'm not shying away from it. That's what I'm saying is I agree with you 100 is you don't want to walk into the playoffs thinking that you're a better team than you are. I want to walk in the play chest out. And that's what we can do this year. This is the time. Let's go. Look, we can cry. We're not crying. This is the schedule we're getting. Let's go. You know what? You believe in this. You believe in Dave Canales. You believe in Bryce Young. You believe in these draft Dan Morgan. Then what? Were we going to be scared? No. I'm walking up into that bar ready to fight.
Yeah.
All right,
dude,
let's keep going.
Yeah. Hang on, my mouse is freezing. I hope this is not a permanent.
It's all good. I can switch it to as well.
No, I got it.
Hey, here, I'll give you a segue. This is one of my favorite. Nuck if you buck, nuck if you buck if you nuck. Yeah, let's go. I'm knucking and bucking and ready to fight. That's how the Panthers going to be this year.
Yes, sir. And man, look, how about this? We are getting ever closer to Panthers football. We're less than 3 months away from the Panthers taking the screen in the Hall of Fame game against the Arizona Cardinals. So this would be interesting. And I felt like sharing this as well. It's being reported via a leak that the Panthers week 1 game is a 1:00 game at home against the Detroit Lions.
The
Coming to
NFL be
Charlotte.
leaking this shit. This shit was like on NFL's fucking their Twitter. The NFL be
This one?
leaking. I don't know if it I mean the
It looks
NFL
pretty official, doesn't it?
I think it was on NFL Twitter. I don't know. All right. So Lions. How
I
about
don't know if it is. Don't they usually have the opening game? Isn't it typically the Super Bowl rematch?
no?
Not all the time, I don't think.
Let's see. I'm gonna
Okay.
look up NFL Twitter.
But yeah,
the
this
question
has
is this? Well, it's not a question. Is the NFL is like the greatest mafia. They are the new iteration of the mafia.
with the 32 great families.
Yes, they know what they're doing. They know how to just do enough, just do a little. Let me see. I don't think this came off of NFL.com. Thursday night football.
Damn, the
How about
season
this?
opener is going to be a Wednesday game.
Let's do
That's
this. Let's ask this. All right, so NFL, we're going to have leaks. They're going to say, oh, week 1, week this. Let's ask this. And credit my boy Clip from Pirate Radio, 1250 Pirate Radio. You can check me out on Fridays there. He asked me this, he's talking about the schedule coming out next week. What do you think he said over under for primetime games for the Panthers, and he put it at 1.5. So let's do it this way, is rather than trying to figure out what games and what times and what this is, how many and primetime, this is what we count as primetime. That's what he did, and I agree with this. Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. You got 3 times that we consider prime time. Panthers over under. What do you think it is, and what do you want?
CK.
He said 1.5. All right, he said 1.5. So how about this? Over under. Is it 1 or 2? Do you get 2 primetime games, or do you get 1? 1.5. Do you want me to tell you now?
I'll say we get 1. I think
That's
we
what
just
I
get
said.
1.
That's what I said too.
I don't know. I think if we're playing a tough schedule like they're saying, I think we have a higher chance of getting multiple. That means we're getting good teams that we're facing. So I think I'm going to go high, and I'm going to say 3.
Whoa, boy. You thinking the Panthers are relevant?
It's not just relevant.
Are
It's
they
not just-
interesting? That's what the NFL is saying. Are they interesting? They're asking Claude in those 1 million iterations. You know, they say that they do like a million computations of the schedule. They're asking Claude or Gemini, what's the most interesting games that could be available? In that, CK, you're saying the Panthers are interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to think. If you're looking at our schedule, you have the Bears that are that's going to be an interesting conversation with the Bryce Young and Caleb Williams. You have the Seahawks, which is going to be an interesting conversation because of the Sam Darnold connection. You have the Ravens; they're always a contender to be in the primetime role. You have the Bengals; they're typically, just because of Joe Burrow, candidate to be in the primetime role. You have the Packers, the Eagles, and the Steelers being a big market. I think you have a lot of potential. Plus, you're going to have like one or, in my opinion, you're going to have typically, I would say, one of your divisional games would be a primetime. So I'm just saying, on my side of things, I believe that they'll have primetime.
What is interesting to me is how disinteresting the idea of an NFC South matchup would be in prime time. How about that? I would say this, there is a 0.1% chance of the Panthers being in prime time against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Saints. How about that? Is CK listed off a lot of options, Cody, but none of them are going to be a division game at all when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. I say under. I say 1. I think we had 0 last year. Or
No, we had 1.
We had 1.
But do you remember who the one was?
San Francisco, right?
Yeah, San Francisco one.
Yeah, San Francisco, and it was a pick fest. I think it was a Thursday night game. It was San Francisco.
Was it a Thursday night? Yeah, we went across
San Francisco.
Was it a Thursday or
Monday? I can't remember, but it was a pick fest. Yeah. And Cody, I want to go under the radar. I want it to be 0. Why? Selfish.
I hear you. And we also played the best when we are slept on, when we are under the radar, when no one is considering us. But bro, I'm gonna be real. If it is like CK says it is, and we do for whatever reason have 2 or more primetime games, I'm accepting of the challenge. I'm so ready to buck the trend of the quote unquote primetime Panthers, where we have the whole nation looking at us, and then we just shit the bed. Like, I'm done with that. That's right. Just like we were just talking about that schedule, Tony, about, hey, you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. Well, if we do end up getting a number of primetime games, let's show the whole fucking country that the Panthers keep pounding. I would love to, stomp out that narrative about the Carolina Panthers. But I do agree with you. I do think just based on how the Carolina Panthers are perceived by NFL fans in a broader sense, yeah, I do think we're probably only going to be in one primetime game. Maybe probably like a Thursday night football game.
I think it's 1, and I am with John B. Jenkins. Selfishly, I'm going to reveal a lot. I like 1 p.m. on Sunday. It's my bread and butter of football.
Yes.
And I don't want to do fucking late night post game shows.
Come
on, let's go 1 o'clock. I want a 17-week schedule of all 1 p.m.s on Sundays. That make my life great. Cody, what do we got next?
Hold on, I do want to amend my prediction of 3. I'm going to say 2 because I think that there's always going to be, like, the last 4 weeks they have that TBD stuff that they do now, where they don't actually have the primetime game scheduled all the way out. So I think 3 would be pretty steep for them to be able to say without having the last 4 weeks actually scheduled. So I'm going to go back to 2 with the upcoming schedule, but I think that by the end of the year, there'll be 3.
Okay. So over under 1.5. I'm at 1. Cody's at 1. CK's at 2. But then what we're talking about when it comes to prime time was like that flex is not actually always prime time, but then you get that stupid. It's not stupid.
They do the like TBD,
the 425.
Yeah.
You get the better 4 o'clock game. Give us 1 o'clock all day long, all season long.
Fine with me.
Let's go. What we got next?
Tony, do you want to? We can take another slide, or do you want to do some calls?
Let's do one more slide because I gotta hook my phone.
Got you. So also, let's talk about this offensive line. Tony, CK, I remember we talked last week about, do we think the offensive line depth is better or worse than it was last year? And to that point, the Carolina Panthers brought in former first-round draft pick in 2022 for the Texans, Kenyon Green. He was working on drill Saturday. They brought him into camp last week. There is a chance that maybe they bring him in to be a part of that guard rotation on this team. Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt have been hurt at different points in times in their in their career. So I do think that it would be prudent to have somebody to come in behind them. But, not all of that is assured yet. What do you guys think about bringing in Kenyon Green?
Tell me about him. I heard them ask about it. A former 2022 first round prospect, a guy fighting, I guess, to live up to those expectations. I don't know anything about this. Tell me.
So he was a former first round pick to the Houston
Eagles?
Texans. No, to
Texans,
the Houston
okay.
Texans in 2022. He has since sort of bounced around. He's kind of been a journeyman in that time. So, I don't think that that he is a guy that you would think is going to be taking anyone's jobs, but I do think he is good enough to come in a pinch and be a good rotational guy, or if someone gets hurt, that he could come in and do some work for us. Now, we do have an offensive line coach that a lot of people talk about very highly. Now, we have had those before that have sometimes been a bit overblown, but I do think that Kenyon Green, with our offensive line coach, could turn him into a guy that could, be useful to us in a pinch.
Let's take depth. Let's get some depth. That's all I say, CK.
I mean, I'm fine with depth. Based on what we've seen from the Texans offensive line the last few years, I don't know if he was a part of that rotation or not, but I certainly don't want anybody that was from their offensive line these past couple of years, if I'm being quite honest with you. But
yo.
Yeah, but as far as having depth, I'm fine with it. I think it's a big, one of these things it's an interesting story. And I think we've gotten caught up in these stories before where, we've just got a first rounder, like CJ, what was it? CJ Henderson and all these guys, like we've gotten, for essentially pennies on the dollar for what you would consider a first round talent. And they always fall flat for the most part. So
yeah, I'm with you. CK is, how about this is, let's see what you do. I'm not getting excited unless we're talking about Demir Bird or Cameron Artis. Payne. Cody, let's take some calls. The number is 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. I'm having some, my electrical is getting a little buzz. So I've had to restart this soundboard 3 times. If it cuts out, you need to be patient. Let me restart and also let me know. Let's go, Cody. I hope I'm ready. Yeah, I think
Gotcha, brother.
Let's do it.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
CK, Cody Lack, the C3 Legion. What up, guys? This is Hope Dilla checking in real quick. Happy
Hope Dilla.
So I was thinking, I can't necessarily see a scenario where Carolina may start both Sam Heck and Monroe Freeland as rookies on the offensive line. I think we might need to manage our expectation on that. I know it's such an enticing thought, man, but I got a couple of questions. I'm going to try to get this all in one call, but I've really been thinking about this. Do y'all think that Dave Canales and Ejiro Evero have a tendency to baby their young talent and not always put their best talent or their best players on the field? Now, of course, I'm not a coach, but I was just thinking about situations like past seasons with certain players like Nick Scott versus Latham Ransom. And I started thinking, even with Zakee Wheatley as a rookie, if he outperforms Nick Scott at free safety, right, can we actually trust Evero or Canales to play him over Nick Scott? Because it seems like, to me, they kind of, and I'm only saying this based off their history, they kind of play their favorites. So I don't know, man. Like with the offensive line, with Monroe Freeman and Sam Heck, they may prefer some older players, especially over Sam Heck. But give me y'all thoughts on that. Yeah, I'm gonna call right back because I got another question I've been wondering. It's the Hope Deal. I'm gonna call right back.
Cody, go. Hello? CK.
StreamYard was giving me shit. No, so look, I do think that it's important to manage expectations.
Great start. What a great start to your comment. I love that.
I mean, listen, you do have to manage expectations because I feel like we get so excited about these young players that we drafted. But I think one of the things that we don't like to admit is that these coaches, they build up a level of trust with some of these other players that have been on the team. So you might not love Nick Scott, but I think many people in the front office and on the coaching staff do, even though I would love to see Zakee Wheatley and even Leighton Ransom step up into a more big-time role on this team. Who knows if it will happen. But, Tony, I know we're taking cat calls, but it's such a good segue because he brought up Monroe Freeland. And we had a little bit of news on Monroe that the 6'7" Freeland weighed in at 315 pounds at the combine in late February, close to his playing weight during his final season with the Bulldogs. A little more than 2 months later, Freeland showed up for Panthers rookie minicamp at 325 pounds. And he is wearing it and carrying it well. You want to talk about this for a second?
Yeah, I will tell you.
You want to listen to a clip?
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about the call. Oh, CK, I feel like we're watching Cody grow up in front of our eyes. Oh my God, he said, oh my God, we get so excited about these players, but there's some real things to this. I'm like, oh my God, I just saw Cody grow up right here on this podcast. Look, here's the thing is
I manage my expectations of the coaches, not the players.
No, I was like, first, I think your comment was fantastic, Cody. What I would say is this is to the Hope Dealers comment. I think that this coaching staff is less abrasive to putting in young talent than past coaching staffs. Take out the fucking stupid ass Matt Rule era. But I tell you this is these motherfuckers would not see the field with Ron Rivera ever. The 10,000 hour rule, like, you know what I'm saying? Point. I mean, are there times that you feel comfortable with these older or more experienced players? Certainly, but I don't think this staff is handicapped, CK, by that. I think that we want to, and I think that Cody brought up an incredible name with Latham Ransom, and like, what are we gonna do? When are we gonna figure this out? What's the time in this? But I don't think this staff has been off-put to this because they have put in some not weird, but who's your Clemson guy, Cody?
Isaiah Simmons.
No, well, him, but the receiver.
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, they've done some things. They have given XL. They gave XL after some abrasively bad games. They said, we're going to get him involved. Throw the ball to him. I don't think this staff is completely adverse. I would say they're neutral, CK. And what I would say is, like, if this was a Ron Rivera team, these bitches would never see the field.
I mean, I think there was a lot of times, not even just with Ron Rivera, that we were having that issue. I mean, at the beginning of last year, we felt like we weren't getting the people in there that needed to be.
He's with the caller. He's with the caller.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm also with Cody and you, Tony, as well. Like, I think the expectation to be able to assume that he's going to come out and just, it meaning Freeland in this, and just be able to be that guy right out of the gate. I'm not sold on that yet. We've, we had, you guys keep in mind, I mean, while we have the offensive rookie of the year in T-Mac, reigning offensive rookie of the year, like, it wasn't like he was blowing it out of the water from day one. Like, there were drops, there were issues.
Yes.
Like
it was like the weakest.
Yeah, it was.
Rookie of the year ever.
It might. To be fair, I think you might be onto something. I've been thinking that. I didn't want to say it out loud because I don't want to take anything away from the young guy. But at the end of the day, I don't think that there was anybody who was just head and shoulders like ready. I mean, Tyler Shuck was in the running to get it too,
and he didn't even start till week 10.
Yeah,
or
Jackson Dart was in the running to get it. Like, I mean, we're not. Again, I think most
good.
people.
He was good. He was better than that. He was good. He was not in
the problem with a lot of this is the only one on that list that played the way they should have played was T-Mac, right? And what I mean by that is everybody else played above expectation. T-Mac played to expectation.
Yes,
and he didn't exceed expectations. And so my point being, and the reason I bring up even T-Mac here is, even when we've had good rookies, they haven't been superstars out of the gate from day one. Outside of the last time I think we've had that would be probably only Cam Newton. That's the first, I think, person only.
Luke.
Well, I mean, yes, Luke, but I still think his first two games, if I'm not mistaken, weren't great.
Nah, he was out the gate great. We had 2 years in a row where we had two people. I'm just saying this, and I think that the caller brings on a great question, is or not. I don't think they're adverse to young players, but I think they're neutral, and I think they're better than the old hats of a Ron Rivera. Like a Ron Rivera, Lathan Ransom's not seeing the field until year 3.
He's getting the Josh Norman treatment.
Yeah, I mean, and Josh Norman had his own issues, but Ron would not do this. I think that the coaching staff is not adverse to rookie or young play, but I think that I'm fine with what they've done. I'm fine with it. Cody, your thoughts? And then we'll move on. Hey, you want to just hit the next call, or you?
Well, yeah. Also, real quick, shout out to C-Dog with the $2 love bomb. C3 Podcast, longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. The brand ambassador. Appreciate you, bro. Let's do the next one.
Thank you, C-Dog, brand ambassador.
Hey, Hope Dilla second call, real quick. So yeah, thank y'all for taking my calls, man. This next question that I have been wondering about this for a while, and I need y'all help. So I hear a lot about premium positions, and I might sound stupid when I ask this question, okay? And if so, I apologize. But y'all, one thing I've always wondered, what makes one position more premium over another? Like, why is cornerback
this is your answer,
position,
Cody.
but safety is not?
Cover
or why is left tackle considered premium, but like left guard is not? I just feel like, why not just play your best players, like recruit the best players regardless of position? Am I wrong? Like,
not at all.
For instance, like what makes a pass rusher a premium position, but not a middle linebacker that has the green dot and that quarterbacks the whole defense? Like, by today's standards, Luke Kuechly as a middle linebacker, he would not have been considered a premium position, even though he was the most important player on our defense. So that's my other question, man. I've really been thinking hard about this, y'all. Please don't diss me or think that I'm stupid for
not at all, bro. It's a great one.
I don't understand that the whole premium position thing, what makes one premium over the other. But anyway, if y'all can help me out with that, this is the Hope Dilla. Hey, man, I really appreciate you guys doing this week in and week out. Once again, everybody out there, stay hopeful and keep pounding. Later.
Keep pounding the whole deal. CK, I love that question because I've been talking about this for a while. Like, why is left tackle considered more premium than a left guard or a right guard? Why is, defensive tackle not as, promoted as the edge rusher or the middle linebacker? And I think a lot of it has to do with flash, right? So your edge rushers are normally the one racking up the quarterback sacks, so they get all the glory, right? The TJ Watt, the Myles Garrett, the Max Crosby's of the world, those guys, they make the big time play on defense. However, that middle linebacker, it is just as, if not more important, to be able to stop the run down in and down out, which is where you need your defensive interior guys to come in, which is where you need your linebackers to be able to run sideline to sideline and fill those gaps when they have space to do so. It's incredibly important. And, for a 11-on-11 game, if one of those 11 doesn't do their job correctly, the other 10 can fail completely.
Yeah.
So I do think that is a great comment to make. And then my last point on it, CK, is that, there was an era in the NFL where running back was the most coveted position on your entire football team. Teams were trading up for one, like Ricky Williams. You were as good as the running back that you had on your team on offense, in some ways even more so than the quarterback. But as the NFL ages and as trends come and go, it inherently changes the values of these positions to the point where running back is not regarded as highly as it once was. Linebacker used to be incredibly important, and now it's not as valued as it once was. So I think time changes those things. The style of play in the NFL changes those things, and just ultimately the flashier the position, the more they tend to get talked about and the more they tend to get paid.
Yeah, I think there's a matter of saturation that is. You're right. It's a matter of where we're at in the season of football. What do they value more? Who's getting paid more? And what ends up happening inevitably, which is why I think you start to see an influx of, right now as an example, right? There's a lot, probably more than I can recall in the history of the NFL that I would consider elite quarterbacks in the league, right? I think so many people are choosing to be a quarterback earlier in their high school and college, and I think these elite athletes are starting there or starting at defensive end or any of these other positions that are considered premium positions. And then once the other positions are valued, or once that becomes oversaturated, all these other positions that are undersaturated become even more valued. So I think that contributes as well. But it's a fantastic point, because I've thought about it myself, because you're right, Cody. There was an era of when middle linebacker was like one of the most sought after positions. And now, if I'm being just flat out honest with you, I don't really know that I can name 10 starting middle linebackers in the league right now.
Yeah, no, I couldn't either.
I think my answer is I come back to Christian McCaffrey on this. Is Christian McCaffrey was a star of stars.
Yeah.
So it's a position group that's not incredibly the most important. I won't say most important. It's very important. You have stars in this world that are exceptional, that are so incredible at what they do, it can't be replicated. I think when it comes to position groups is that it's about the mean or median. I don't know. Actually, I'm not even a math person. Yeah. Median, mean, there are positions where more people can do capable things. And there are positions where less people can do capable or exceptional things. So look, is Christian McCaffrey isn't a devalued group. Middle linebacker. Think about this. Think about like Luke. Luke Kuechly. Levante
that
David
was
is that.
that was Hope Dealer's example in the call. How Luke Kuechly, for as good as he was, wouldn't probably be valued that highly in today's game.
Well, I think he would be because he was an exceptional star. He's an exceptional player at that position group, right? Is that there are a lot of guys that can play that position effectively. There are few people that can play at a superstar superiorly level. So when you get I come back to Christian McCaffrey for me. He was a star, man. I'm sorry. Like, you didn't say that the running back is this and that. It will change. When you have a star, it's different. But the difference is there are positions where it is the group of people that can play the position are smaller. If it's left tackle, if it's corner, if it's quarterback being the greatest example. Quarterback being the greatest example is that there are plenty of people that can play it at a subpar or par level. It's playing it at a greater than average or elite level is so far and few between. So I don't think any position is worth more than anything else necessarily, but there are more people that can play guard than there are more people that can play quarterback. There are more people that can play center or guard that can play right or left tackle. There are more people that can play linebacker, middle linebacker at an effective or average level than can play cornerback or whatever edge. That's my answer. But if you get a star, fuck it. I don't care. Look, I love Cameron Artis-Payne, but I'm not playing Cameron Artis-Payne over fucking C-Mac.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go to John B. Jenkins.
Great question, Hope Dealer.
Why are you not playing?
I pared this thing
hold on,
down.
let me restart.
Hey guys, John B. Jenkins here, calling in with your weekly alternative football league
hear
update. Boy, I have pared this thing down. I think I'm just going to cover half of it, but I wanted to update you guys on the state of European football. I haven't talked about it at all yet, because I've been kind of waiting for them to get their shit together. But the ELF, the European League of Football as we knew it, is no more. They lasted 5, I think, successful seasons. But the problem was with the way the ownership structure was.
I love this about these leagues that just fail within the first 5 days.
And 6 of the teams left and formed the EFA, the European
new
Football
league.
Alliance. And then 8 teams went to form the AFLE, the American Football League of Europe. Basically, all of the really good, successful teams went and formed the EFA, and the lesser teams formed the AFLE. But it's still going to be some good football. You'll be able to watch all of it, and I've got a nice little schedule of events here to kind of update you on the state of spring football as it stands, spring and summer football. But this weekend, EFA football will be starting off. That will feature teams like Frankfurt, Munich, Prague, Paris, the Nordic Storm, and the Raiders Tirol in Austria. And you can see those games on YouTube and then on their website. On the 18th, the CFL preseason starts, and that can be watched on CFL Plus, and that's actually a pretty good platform to watch Canadian football, if you will, March May 23rd.
Good job,
AFLE
Get some
football.
poutine, watch football.
That will be shown on Fubo TV because Fubo pretty much owns 40% of this league. And then you can also watch the games on YouTube. Now, May 29th is the date we have all been waiting for because that, ladies and gentlemen, is when the TAL, or the Arena League as it is known, will be playing. And that is when we're going to be able to go fish and watch our Ozarks lunkers.
Let's go.
Fish, or what is a lunker, right? We're going to have to play that song again sometime. But anyway, you'll be able to watch those games on the arenaleague.football, which is their website, or you can see the games on YouTube. And then on June 4th, the CFL regular season starts. That's kind of the update I've got for right now. I wanted to talk a little bit about some UFL action, but I might have to call back and tell you about that because it was an awesome game. So maybe I'll do that, y'all. Anyway, until the next call, I'll see you then.
John B.
Jenkins out.
John B. Jenkins, thank you. He's coming back for another. The real AP, him up on the comments. He says, Tony, pre-Christmas convo, my son's T-Mac jersey will be here this week. I found, well, stick around. Stick around for my ice up pick about having kids and how expensive they will be. I have a son graduating high school this next week. He's like basically done. Going to NC State and a wonderful person. There's an irony that you will find out about jettisoning your children and how expensive it is. Let's go back to John B. Jenkins. There is only one more call ahead of John B. So get it in if you want it. We're finishing out. We got.
Hey guys, John B. Jenkins calling back one more time. I just wanted to update you on the rest of the things that were going on in spring and summer football. The National Arena League, I found out just this week, is located or is run. Their headquarters are in Conover, North Carolina. So I was reading some of the press releases and realized they're all, addressed from Conover, North Carolina. So that's kind of cool. They've got teams all over the country and are run out of our lovely little state here. The Indoor Football League, we are at the halfway point. This is some super, super exciting 50-yard football. I love this league. I can't get enough of it. We got 10 more weeks. We're at the halfway point. This is the league where you can watch none other than my new favorite football player, 5'5", 275 pounds.
It's the kicker.
Kicker, Nestor Manuel.
He's
Higuera.
so big.
Look that guy up, please.
Wait, what's his name?
Football.
Oh, we showed him.
Y'all, this is some seriously decent football. You can watch this on Amazon Prime. You can watch it on YouTube. If you watch it and just forget that you're watching women, it's like some pretty good Division II college football. But really why I wanted to call back is I wanted to tell you guys about the UFL. The game of the week this past week, for me at least, was what I'm dubbing as the Panther Bowl, or the battle between former Panther wide receivers. St. Louis Battlehawks faced off against the Cleveland Aviators. Battlehawks, of course, coached by Ricky Prohl, and the Aviators coached by Ted Ginn Jr. Right before the game, they did this little segment on Ted Ginn Jr., and he talked about how much Ricky Prohl meant to him as a mentor and father figure, and credited Ricky to pretty much reinvigorating his career when he came to Carolina. So that was really cool to see. It wasn't cool to see the Aviators lose like that, but they really couldn't help it because this was the first game we all got to see the Spring King, none other than Luis Perez himself. He got traded from the Renegades in Dallas to the Battlehawks, finally got the start this week, and impressed 16 of 30, 204, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and then 1 rushing touchdown. And then his go-to wide receiver, Hakeem Butler, also a former Panther for a hot minute, was 3 receptions for 77 yards. He had this one big, beautiful catch that was just amazing. That's really all I've got for you. Again, EFA starts this weekend on the 15th, CFL on the 18th, AFLE on the 23rd, the Arena League on the 29th, and the CFL regular season on June 4th. And that should get us through all the way to training camp, which, thank God, starts in July and probably starts a little earlier for us because of the Hall of Fame game, right? Yeah, that's all I got. John B.
How about this, Cody?
No. Good stuff, John B.
We need to look up NFL.com and their selection, like their jersey bowl. The real AP says, I'm talking Christmas of 25. He is not even. Thank you. First, I was like, man, I'm ill prepared for Christmas of 2026.
Oh, damn, they're just now getting him his shit. Yo, that's fucked.
Do you remember that I went nuts about the idea because Scorton wears 11 and 11's my number. Look, I got the 11s tattooed, and you can see it if you're looking at me. I was born on 11/11 at 11:11 p.m. That's my number, 11. And I went to go and try to buy. I was like, fuck, like, yes, Scorton, give me that Scorton jersey. I'm pretty sure it's a Scorton, like 11. And they didn't even have the number 2 pick as an option of a jersey. My man's just getting his jersey. Come on, NFL. I just celebrated you guys for making yourselves relevant at every moment. But where you're irrelevant is in actual fucking merchandise. I don't understand it. This motherfucker is fat, Cody. And he be kicking the shit out of it. I tell you this is you can get this kicker and he can play special teams too. He can be is he gonna kick the football and line up on the extra point at the same time?
Bro, so one of the comments was his plant knee is already smoked. He has no wrapper around it. But dude, hey, you know what?
But my man is good. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Dude. Look, what was the stats about him? That he was
97.2
extra point percentage. Dude,
this
that
mug
guy
has been kicking a soccer ball his whole life.
That's the real definition of kicker right there.
Yeah.
Boy.
How about this? Harris Mevis, fuck off.
Yeah, eat your heart out.
Right,
this guy, because this guy actually will eat your heart out.
And he's like, and then I'm still hungry. Let's go.
Yeah, good for him, dude. No, I like that guy.
I'm down for it, man. Look, we get a blocker and a kicker at the same time. You know what? Actually, do you know when you like get those punters or the kickers and they're the like last line of defense? Like that, the breakout, like you get that one return and they got to make the tackle. He is either going to fucking annihilate you or be left in the dust. Last call of the night.
What's going on, everybody? This is me, C-Dog 1983 TV.
C-Dog.
Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the great content. The C3 Podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. But real quick,
longest running.
Man,
ain't going nowhere.
Talking about Bryce Young getting an extension. Bryce Young has not done anything to get fucking money from the Panthers. I repeat, nothing. We shouldn't even be thinking about paying him any fucking thing. First of all, he's undersized. Until you can come out here and throw some motherfucking deep bombs, fuck no. Fuck no. And I got to disagree with somebody. Tony or somebody said that if we were to move on from Bryce, we would be setting ourselves back. No, we're not. We have an offensive line. We got receivers. We got a defense. All we need is a competent fucking quarterback. But there's no way we can pay this motherfucker. He ain't done shit. Man, CJ Stroud didn't get paid. How the fuck, why the fuck Bryce Young gonna get paid? Man, you see goddamn Will Anderson got paid, CJ Stroud, a teammate who got drafted the same year as him, because he's fucking proven. CJ Stroud not gonna get paid until he can prove he's an NFL quarterback like Bryce Young. He's gotta prove he's an NFL quarterback. Bryce Young came out this year, the same bullshit he been on these last 3 years. He's out of here. He got one more year left. He's a fuck up out of here, man. Like I don't even know why we're talking about this. Even paying this motherfucker. Look at his fucking record. He has not done anything. He ain't got a Pro Bowl, nothing to his fucking name. Not rookie of the year, nothing.
How can you disagree with this?
Ken Newton has shit. Fucking records. This motherfucker ain't got shit. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, man? Like, man, I even have to bring up the great Cam Newton, the greatest quarterback ever of the motherfucking Panthers, the only MVP in team history. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, man?
Segue.
Anyways, man.
You're right.
It was a great fucking draft. I'm excited for all these rookies we're gonna bring in. And I'm just ready to get the season started, man. You know.
Yes,
All
sir.
that getting paid, that shit gotta fucking stop. He has not done anything. He has not proven he is an NFL fucking quarterback. Period.
And that's
I hope
not
everybody
hate,
have a great
folks.
rest of the week. The C3 Podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. You know, I'm glad everybody is here tonight. And I hope everybody have a great week, man. I can't wait till the season start. I can't wait till the schedule come out. I hope I get to meet some of you guys this year at some of these
Yes,
games.
sir.
Everybody have a great week. C-Dog1983 TV out and keep fucking pounding.
Keep pounding. Shout
Look.
out to C-Dog, the brand ambassador, baby. We appreciate you, bro. And nothing he said was wrong. Look,
Nah.
he always comes with the heat. It might be a little bit tough talk for some to hear, but there was no lies in that message that he just left.
That wasn't a hater call either. That won't no hate call.
No.
That was just honest talk. Is look, we can be optimistic and whatever about Bryce, but like look, that's why I'm excited about the Panthers. We're not excited. I'm happy in that we're not just new coach, new quarterback, we're giving these people enough runway to see if it works. But let's not crown nobody. Nobody deserves to be crowned in this whole fuck. David Tepper, don't crown you as like a great owner. Get the fuck out. I think the only person right now that I'm ready to crown is the front office. I think they're the ones that are right now. And we said this in last week's show, or I said it in last week's show, is that the optimism is driven by Dan Morgan and Brent Tillis. That's where the real optimism of this team, and not that doesn't mean pessimism about Bryce Young. It doesn't mean pessimism about Dave Canales, but where is the optimism about this team deriving from? It's from the front office at this point. That's where it's coming from. And that doesn't mean I'm shitting on Bryce. I'm not shitting on any of these. It's like, I feel like a lot of us, honest conversation is, why are we talking extension right now?
Yeah,
Why?
there's no reason to. No, there's no reason to. And listen, it comes up because people ask it of Dan Morgan, and then we talk about it on the pod. But look, we've talked about Bryce till we're blue in the face.
Yeah. Let's
talk
about
the guy that we just, it's like that saying,
my man,
I just can't quit you. I just can't quit you. Cam Jarrell Newton, happy birthday to the best, greatest quarterback in Panthers history. I know some are fond of Jake Delhomme, but man, for me, it's Cam. He turned 37 years old yesterday. 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, 2011 Offensive Rookie of the Year, 2015 Offensive Player of the Year, and the 2015 MVP. Shout out to Cam, bro. Hey, again, just speaking my honest truth from the heart. There are players on this team that we are still trying our best to replace what they did for us. We are still trying to replace Luke Kuechly. We are still trying to replace Thomas Davis. And damn it, we are still trying to replace Cam Newton. Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday to my, I'm like, as people don't
say
get
it.
this, I'm
say
gay
it.
for
You're a
Cam.
Cam sexual.
I'm gay.
Cam
for Cam.
sexual,
I'm gay
baby.
for Cam. I will fuck Cam all day long. CK, here's the thing,
You're
though.
so cringe, bro.
CK, this is the thing with Cam, though, that is it hurts my heart to say. 37 years old.
Yep.
And he's not been in the league for 4 years now.
Right.
Right. I really I love Cam. Like there is nobody who is like a bigger Cam fan than me. I mean, I won't say it's I'm sure them it's not a quantifiable thing. What I I think that Cam's story for me is so meaningful to me as a person. Like, is like, this is a dude that I went to war for. I used to say I sharpened my Twitter sword and I would go to war for fucking Cam. I dressed up like grandma and would go to games. I would do all this. I do think there is something that's sad. It's a sad story to me. Cam's NFL story, I would put it like in a Bo Jackson kind of category. Is like, Bo Jackson was the greatest football fucking player of all time, but he got this hip injury that destroyed him. The fact that Cam is 37 and we haven't seen him in the league for 4 years, it's really, this is this makes me sad. Is like, I wanted Cam, and I thought we were about to see it. We were about to see it. Norv Turner was our offensive coordinator. Cam was, what was this, 2017, I think. It was either, I think it was 2017. He was on pace to be fucking MVP. He was fucking killing it through 8 weeks. And it was that Pittsburgh game. He got that shoulder injury. I just would say this is like, I will fucking die. I love Cam. I'm gay for Cam. You say it's cringe, but I am true. It's true. I love this mug.
Oh, yeah.
And that I just am so sad that this trajectory
just went south.
Ended. Like, even if he would have played, like, Cam should be retiring right now.
Yeah. So by the way,
be on the team.
There's another universe where Cam Newton is still playing. So, for example, just to apples here, Matthew Stafford is 38 years old.
Yes.
And he's still playing. And, he might play another year or two. Aaron Rodgers, 40-something years old.
But fuck Aaron Rodgers. But, like,
I'm
think
saying,
about playing until 36. He should have played till 36.
36, 37
yes.
is still a playable age for a quarterback. Now, maybe it's a little bit different because of, the wear and tear on his body overall, putting his body in harm's way. But
he would have to be a different quarterback.
I think about that sometimes. If we would have given Cam a little bit more grace and leeway to be a part of what the Panthers were doing, what I really wish would have happened before Matt Rule had his first year as Panthers head coach is that you would have gone with Cam Newton. Instead of giving Teddy Bridgewater a fucking contract, you give Cam Newton another year or two to be the Panthers quarterback and then trade up for Justin Herbert, let him sit behind Cam Newton, and then roll with those two and then see what you can get for the next foreseeable future. And in another timeline, that's what we got. But this is not the timeline that we live in.
The only thing I can, and this is, look, Cam, if you're listening, if you ever listen to me, there is nobody that is a bigger supporter and lover of you. But the only thing I can think is that the shoulder is cooked.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing that could be the reason, because you have a physical specimen who is mobile enough. Cam did not need his next progression was not being the running quarterback, but he could have. Do you remember when we had Bryce on the one? There would never be in a time that you would be like, oh, we're not gonna sneak.
Yeah, who we gonna sneak the quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not asking Cam if I'm a GM in my team and I'm the Panthers guy, I'm Dan Morgan. I'm not asking him to be the razzle dazzle guy all day long. He was progressing to being a precision quarterback under Norv Turner, but something happened. Part COVID. Also, remember the COVID shit that happened with him in New England? They kept him
Yeah.
out. He came out and he had a big game, and then he was tired. Like,
Yeah,
I just
no, I
felt
remember
like
it all,
Cam
man.
was ready to progress to the next stage where his physical ability was not the only ability.
Yeah,
Like, Cam was
absolutely.
great enough. He was good enough. He did more. He, like, people would talk all these Bryce motherfuckers. And look, I'm not shitting on Bryce, but all these people that are like, oh, give Bryce Cam, they shitted on Cam all day long about not reading defense, not doing this. He did more sooner than everybody.
Well,
He was
Tony, let me
ready
ask
to
you
take
this.
the next step.
Tony,
And
let me
it
ask
is
you
the
this.
saddest story other than Bo
Let
Jackson
me
to
ask
me
you
in
this.
NFL
And
history.
we talked about this the other day. When we paid Cam Newton at the end of 2014, right before the 2015 season, and I know that we weren't all as online as much then as we were now, but do you remember any backlash from Panthers fans talking about paying Cam Newton?
Yes.
You do?
So,
Because I
yes.
don't remember any, bro.
No.
I remember people being happy that we were able, because he also wasn't the highest paid quarterback, and we locked him in for a reasonable price.
No.
Think of what it would have been if we waited another year to pay Cam
Oh
Newton.
my God. You're paid a
Oh, it would have
bazillion
been the
dollars.
highest paid quarterback in history.
I this is again why I just gay for Cam all day long, is that I told you guys, do you remember when we drafted Bryce? I said there can't be a more controversial quarterback. The idea that Bryce Young, clean cut, is more controversial than Cam. They fucking wanted to pick CK, help me out. Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert.
I know, but you remember when they put up Blaine? They flipped it on the Monday Night Football game. They like people were Cam. I just want to say this is Cam. I love you. Happy birthday. There is nobody in this world that I will put my love for you as a player. I'm like, and I don't need to quantify it, but I was with you the whole time, and I'm still with you. There were people that were like, oh, Derek Anderson. I would fucking go nuts, Cody. Nuts. People are like, fucking Derek. I wanted to kill the whole world. I wanted to burn down the internet. Cam, I'm so sad. Look, you are the great. You're the GOAT to me. I love you, and it's not. I truly wish, and I'm sure you do. Like, he should be right now, still playing, and it's sad. It's a sad story. It's a Bo Jackson type story to me. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I love you, Cam. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro. We have any more calls?
Nope, that was the last one.
So let's just speed through the rest of these. So here we have the offensive line rankings. I don't know who exactly amalgamated these. Panthers offensive line coming in at 9th here. Left tackle Rasheed Walker, left guard Damian Lewis, center Luke Fortner, Robert Hunt right guard, and Taylor Moton right tackle. And then he has their numbers graded out next to them. And we have a good offensive line. He says that Taylor Moton and Damian Lewis continue to be the anchors, but there is obviously some questions behind the center position where it stands. I think that is an accurate representation of the Carolina Panthers offensive line at this point. I found it interesting that their number one was Denver. That Denver to them has the best offensive line in the NFL. Okay, they have Philly at number 2. I don't see number 3, but yeah, I mean, listen, I think the offensive line units still has the potential to be one of the best that we've ever had if we're able to shore up some things on this line. If Rasheed Walker works out, if Monroe Freeling sees the field this year, which recent reports continue to make me think he might, hopefully Sam Hecht can win that starting center job, but it's a lot to be seen still.
This is where games are won.
Absolutely.
This is games are won. And look, do not worry about Monroe Freeland starting day one. Fuck, don't worry about Hecht starting one. Like, let's go. Dan Morgan has invested in this offensive line, and I love what he did with Rasheed Walker.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, let's go. This is
Brazel. Every route I've ran here, I've ran in Tennessee. Tennessee is definitely evolving the playbook. They're getting more pro style. Dude, Chris Brazel. So they did some rookie offseason meetings with the Panthers, and Chris Brazel, he was looking good, man. He was looking really good. He's made some big time plays, just going up and grabbing the ball. Here, I'll play this for you guys, just so that way you see what we're talking about here. But, again, as we go into the season, Tony and CK, we're going to continue to have these conversations of, who is more on the bubble, who's going to have a potential to move forward, Chris Brazel or Xavier Legette. And you see the ball skills and the abilities to go up in high point of football. Woo! Big, tall, strong, long. He's fast. He's been able to cut on a dime. Haynes King threw him a ball that was behind him, and he was still able to turn around and grab it. A lot of fans are really excited about Chris Brazel going forward, man.
CK, did you see the workout video for XL?
I did not see the workout video for XL, but it's probably about the same that we've always seen.
I think it was Chris. People said Chris Johnson. First, I will tell you this: is I learned anytime people put a workout video, I get nervous.
Yeah,
I remember John Beeson coming off an injury, a major knee injury, and he was doing he was on the beach. He had this big ass resistance band against him. I was like, oh, John Beeson's back. John Beeson's back. Oh, I get nervous now every time I see these videos because I'm like, is it hype? I don't know. Is it whatever? Cody, I watched the XL and I don't want to get diluted into an XL conversation too much. I don't care what he looked like, but I just saw that Brazel video. I was like, that motherfucker fast.
He is, dude.
Fast. He got
he's
a long.
Fast,
he got a
he's
gait.
tall.
He looked like a horse. He has a long gait.
Dude, he has that catch radius, man. A lot of people are very excited about Brazel. I know I am as well. And again, if people just hold the Tennessee offense against him, like you're not judging the player. You're not judging the player. You're judging the helmet.
Yeah.
And that's fool's gold right
Let's
there.
hear it.
Man.
Do you got it? All right.
Yeah, that's it, dude. That's the show.
Okay. All right. The Carolina Brazel said he ran every route he can do it. And we look, if you want to argue about XL, hit Cody up on Twitter. And we're excited about this season. What do we got left? That's it. It's been a great show. Dan Morgan delivers timetable on Bryce Young. We've talked a lot of things, but we have one final segment. It's the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast. Hey, if you're still John Jenkins, Canadian football, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe, consider being a C3 super fan. And we're on Spotify, iTunes, I guess wherever you get your podcast at. It really does help if you do one thing, and that is share the link. Tell a friend. I mean, I think the best way to really build something is to tell somebody you know that wants them. So if you have a Panther fan that's my whole damn screen went dark. If you have a friend that's a Panthers fan, send them the link and just say, look, this is what we do. We hang out here. That's the best way. Direct connect. smash the thumbs up button or give us a good rating on Spotify or iTunes. Cody, longest running podcast. Let's hit the longest running segment. Let's ice some fools up.
Eyes up.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's our homage to Steve Smith, where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up to get it together. We are not bound by the lines of football. We can step in or out of the football rules. I've iced up my family, my friends. I've iced up my brethren. Everybody is fair game. Who is ready to go?
I can go first. I don't have any clips to play
Okay.
or anything like that. But just recently, they put out the Netflix roast of Kevin Hart.
Let's hear.
Dude, it's awesome. There's so many comedians there that just, dude, there was no holds barred. Anything that was to be joked about was joked about. I'm icing up all the pussies online who get mad and offended at jokes in 2026. And again, these are professional comedians. It's a roast. They're trying to be shocking. And they went all out, man. There was Charlie Kirk jokes, George Floyd jokes, Gaza jokes, jokes about abortion. But the point is that if people were laughing, you need to shut up. No one cares that you're offended. Be offended. No one should change their opinion on a joke just because you didn't like it. Toughen up. Get your shit together. Ice up.
Good ice up pick there. CK, you got something for us?
You go ahead, my dog.
All right, my ice up pick is going to be simple, or not simple. My son is graduating high school, and he's a wonderful person. He's been such a there's so much to celebrate, right? And so the idea is I'm just going to prepare you guys for the idea of somebody first. I mean, I guess saving up for college in a way, putting money in a college, the NC 529 or 5, whatever the fuck the name of the plan is. So we've saved, like $75 a month since he was 3 years old or whatever. The idea of somebody coming off the payroll is awesome, right? It's like, oh, man, off the payroll. It's going to get less. Well, graduating is expensive as shit. I am throwing a party for him, which I want to. So I'm not icing up the party and the expense of that. But I had to pay for 5 AP exams between him and his sister, 4 for him, 1 for his sister, graduation fees because they go to a Catholic school. All of this, that lasts right when you're like, oh, these mugs might be coming off the payroll. You guys better prepare for a big ass fucking injection. And this is for you, CK. This is what I want to talk to you right before we went on the show. Fucking $500 in AP exams. Boom. Right out the gate. This, the party. This. I'm like, I got to give this motherfucker a gift. I thought my gift was saving up for 15, 20 year, whatever it is. No, I love him. He's a wonderful person. I'm so happy to support him. But right when you're about to get off the tit, they suck it the hardest. That's all I'm going to say. Ice up.
I have an ice up I'll follow up with. I'm icing up Tony for thinking his son's about to get off the tit.
Yes. Oh, my God. You're right. You're right.
The fact that Tony thought he was at the finish line just because his son's about to graduate high school. I'm not even at that point in my life, and I know how hysterical that thought is.
Man, you're right. It's thank God to like sucking on.
You might have another 10 years of that.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, my parents are always helping me All I gotta say is this: is motherfucker, I saved. Like you bet. Like that's the best I can do. I'm just trying to get through this week and this show. CK, am I your ice up pick?
No, I'm just gonna keep it at that. We'll keep it.
That's perfect. That's
lighthearted.
All right. Send your donations to the Teat Factory at the C3 Panthers Podcast if you need to help me.
And just earmark them for whomever you think needs them more. Tony, CK.
Yeah, there you go. Just put at Cody Lack, my boy
Yes,
CK.
sir.
We've had a fantastic night. Let's get the hell out of here. Every Tuesday night, we're rocking at 9 p.m. Free for all on Fridays. Get ready for football Sundays because these post games are going to be lit. Thank you so much for the people that have been with us through the thick, the thin, because when we start crushing, the Panthers be winning. Your calls are going to the front of the order. Cody Lack, take us out of here.
C3 Legion. Keep pound.